Hey everybody, welcome back to Frank's Homestead. I'm going to show you how to replace cord ends on a power cord. I've got this power cord here, came off my trailer, and if you can see that, it got a little hot and it melted that end. And then on the male end, I am missing a ground. So I'm going to repair this cord. Now it's real simple and I'm going to show you how to do it. Doesn't take long at all. First of all, I'm going to start off with, if you look on the power cord, if you need to replace cord end, somewhere along your power cord, you'll be able to see stamps on the cord itself telling you what size gauge wire it is. In this case, this is a 14 gauge wire. So when I was buying cord ends, I kept that in mind, that I bought big enough ones for this power cord. And on the end of the cord ends that you've got, it'll tell you, like this right here, it says 15 amp. It's rated for up to 15 amps. So with that being said, generally a 15 amp power cord is 12 gauge wire. So this being 14 gauge, it's going to fit just fine, and I have no problems using that. The only tools you're going to need to replace cord end is you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, you need a pair of wire cutters and wire strippers, and I use a utility blade for cutting back the sheathing on the power cord. Just simply start with taking your end, and right behind where the original cord end is, and it goes without saying, you know, make sure it's not plugged in, please. And cut the cord end off. Now that you got the cord end off, you're gonna have to strip off this outer sheathing on the wires. The way I do it is I find the green wire inside, that's your ground, and carefully, with it in the up position, I will score on that green wire with a knife. Then I can just peel it apart to expose the wires. Now doing it this way, make sure that you do not nick the white wire, which is the common wire, or the black wire, which is the hot wire. Remember, when you're doing this, always cut away from yourself. Be very careful. And you only need to do it back, an 1.5 inches or so. That's all you got to do. Once that's done, I fold it back, just like that. Fold that sheathing back. And then, carefully, without nicking the wires, just get it started like that. And generally, you can just rip it off the rest of the way. If it doesn't work out that way, then you can cut it off. Just like that. Now you got your 3-wire exposed. Now that that's done, I'm going to take this apart and get it ready to go. In the top there's 3 screws. Just take them out. They should stay in there. It doesn't take but a few turns. Take it off, separate it. Set that to the side. Now here, this is the part that clamps around the power cord. So you're going to want to loosen those up. Sometimes you have to take them all the way off, but sometimes you don't. This is one of those things that on the homestead you got to do yourself. Instead of spending money to go buy a new power cord, just fix it. Now that you got that loosened up at the end there where the cord goes through, put your cord through. Just slide it on down. Now we're going to trim these wires. Get your cutters, and like I said, I found on this cord it was a 14 gauge, and on my cutters I've got a slot here for stripping that says 14. I'm going to use that slot. And all you need is just a little bit off the end. If you get it too long, don't worry about it. You can always just trim it off. I'll do that to all 3. Now I like to twist my cord ends once I've stripped them. Just it makes it kind of hold together a little bit better. Now on this part here, you've got 3 different spots. One is silver in color, and that's going to be for your white neutral ground. One is gold in color. That's going to be for your black hot. And of course, one is green. That is for your ground. So loosen these up. Generally, if it's a good cord end, that screw will not come out all the way. Just turn it back until it stops. And then I personally like to always start with my ground. That way I know it is 100% done. And all you're going to do is just stick it right in one of these sides here. Okay, now if you've got too much exposed, if you can see that, if you've got too much wire yet exposed between the sheathing and when you stick it in all the way, just trim it off. No biggie. Just trim that little bit off, the difference. Put it in there. Remember, green to green, that's our ground. And then tighten it up. You want a good, tight connection. You can do the same thing for the other ones. Next, I'll go to the neutral. The white wire helps if you turn it upside down. Makes it easier to put it into the slot where it goes. Again, once you've got it in there, just tighten it up and then make sure it's nice and tight. Now when I'm buying these cord ends, I like to make sure that they're UL listed. That means they've been tested in the laboratory and that they're safe and a good cord end. Do the same thing to your black. Remember, that goes to your gold. Okay, once you've got all the screws tightened on the wires, slide the bottom part of the cord end back up. And what I like to do is I like to just give it a twist on the power cord. You can see it just kind of twists the wire just a little bit and keep it pushed in the center. Slide your cord end up on here. There's generally only one way it'll fit. On the bottom will fit on the top. And you'll feel it when you spin it, it'll just kind of plop in there. Then you just tighten down your screw heads. And what you want it to look like on the back end of this is that where this grips here onto the cord, it needs to be all sheathed. You do not want to have the wires without that exterior sheathing on it. Then just kind of hold your power cord in the center and start tightening. Alternate back and forth between the two tightening screws. That way you get a nice tight fit, and screw them all the way down. What that does is it puts pressure on your power cord here to make sure that if you pull on the cord or something else pulls on the cord, it's not going to rip it out of here and away from where you connected it inside. So make sure it's nice and tight. Now doing the other end of the cord, the male end, is the exact same process as doing the one I just showed you. Just take it all apart, strip your wires, strip your sheathing, hook it all together just like I showed you, and put it back together. It's exactly the same. Well, there you have it, folks. Hopefully you found this video useful and informative, and hopefully that will save you some money down the road just by replacing your cord ends. Yeah, I did a little disclaimer, by no means am I an electrician, but this is pretty straightforward as it comes when it comes to electrical things. But if you still are not comfortable with doing it, ask a friend, get an electrician, go out and buy a new cord, whatever it takes. Do not try to do it if you're very uncomfortable with doing anything like this. But once again, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. And we'll see you next time.